Good day, everyone, and thank you guys for joining us today. This is a very quick product announcement from MediaCast, and in this section, we're going to speak to you about the latest product announcement from BirdDog. And as I always say, this is the time of the year wherein fellow geeks like you and me are waiting over our internet and looking at NAB website or Facebook groups or whatever social media platform you're in, and we are always trying to look for the new product announcements, especially for the brands that we all use and love. And like what I said, this segment is particularly dedicated for BirdDog. It's one of our main brands here at MediaCast, both here in the UAE and in Turkey. And to join us today for this very special announcement, we have our friend from BirdDog, Phil Lane. How are you, Phil?
Hey, Lawrence, I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
Oh, good, thank you. And yeah, we're all quite excited. And I know we've been trying to, we've been waiting for product announcements like this, especially the new toys that will be part of everyone's gear or even our demo unit if Payman is watching right now. So yeah, we'll be very happy to have them. So without further ado, let's just jump onto it and yeah, let's have a look at the new stuff that we'll be expecting from BirdDog.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, obviously, NAB is really exciting this year. It's the first one for 3 years, and we have a number of new things that we're announcing at the show. First of all, obviously, NDI5 integration. NewTek announced it last year. We've been working on the integration into our products in the background since we knew about NDI5, and we're very pleased now at NAB to be able to actually launch the firmware updates for our products. So we'll add in all of the standard NDI5 libraries, RUDP, NDI Genlock, and all of the other things that come with NDI5 that were announced with the protocol. But we're also adding in some other stuff as part of the NDI5 release, and some of them are quite big, and some things that we've been asked for by customers quite a bit over the last probably 12 months or even longer. And one of those is integration with 3D. So for those people that are doing green screens, for things like Unreal Engine, for doing graphics, we now have 3D integration with all of our cameras from the P100 all the way through to the P4K, which is great. Um, we've also added in NDI scopes. So NDI scopes enable you to have RGB waveform vector and histograph, which is a really good tool for people that are working in studio environments, house of worship, where you're working in mixed lighting environments, to be able to then finely tune your cameras to color match, to color balance them, and to do that with proper broadcast tools. So this is a really nice addition to the firmware for all of our cameras. You can vary the size of the scopes. You can change the scopes. They're available on both the main and the proxy output, or just the proxy output. And I think it'll be a really useful tool just for color matching cameras between each other, color matching BirdDog cameras to other cameras potentially that are being used in the studio as well. Along with this, we've also updated the dashboard, or as we call it at the moment, the web UI for all of the cameras as well. So there's a big change. Everything looks much nicer and is laid out in a more logical fashion. So it will be easier for our customers to navigate through as well, which is really nice. Silicon 2 as well. So SI2 firmware is something that we've been working on for a while and will come as part of sort of the NDI5 rollout. So at the moment, as all our customers know, we only work with full NDI. So that's all that's available from our encoders and from our cameras. Obviously, we realize that not everybody wants to use full NDI, and there are occasions when HX, HX2, and now HX3 would potentially be more appropriate, save bandwidth on networks, etc. So Silicon 2 firmware will then introduce NDI HX2, HX3, as well as still being able to do full NDI. We'll also add SRT, RTMP, RTSP to all of our cameras and our encoders. Cameras first, encoders slightly later. And that will also then allow our cameras to be native cloud endpoints and then fitting in with our cloud product. So it will take away the requirement to have a PC or a laptop running on your network that is your cloud endpoint. The camera will then just do that natively. So increasing the workflow for remote productions, which is really nice. And I think over the last couple of years, we haven't really announced anything new in terms of cameras. So for NAB, we have 2 new units available, and they look really cool. We've done a complete redesign. So the P100 has been a great camera for us. It's a sort of the entry level 10 times zoom unit. It's been really popular with colleges and schools, house of worship, and those type of environments. But we wanted to have a refresh and have started refreshing cameras. So we have completely changed the design of the P100 and have 2 cameras actually that come now in the P100 range. So we have a P110 and a P120. So the P110 really is a direct replacement for the current P100. So it still has the same imaging module, 10 times zoom, and all of the other connectivity that we had with the previous camera. So HDMI, SDI, obviously NDI, and USB. Additionally, adding to the P100 range, we have the P120 as well. So it would be a 100 series with a 20 times zoom. So filling the gap that we had in our camera range where we jumped from the 10 times to a 30 times zoom camera. Complete redesign, as you can see from the images here. The new cameras are designed to look a little bit like a baby P200. So we're sort of bringing in some commonality between our cameras. We've also, as part of the redesign, been able to add in NDI tally, which the current P100 doesn't have. And we've also added in a filter thread on the lens that you can put on ND filters, protection filters, and that sort of stuff as well. A couple of other small features that we've added. Something very simple is just a rubber, or sorry, should I say a silicone bung on the back of the camera that can be removed and then numbered so that in a studio environment, the camera operator can see from the back of the camera what camera he's looking at, which then combining that with the keyboard router output creates a really nice little workflow where he can see what camera he wants to cut to it, and then bring up the output on a screen so that he could then reposition and make any changes to the framing that he wanted, which is really nice. And the other thing, which we already have in some of our products, is that we're adding an LED screen to the front of the cameras, which is sort of at the front where the blue NDI panel is at the moment. So that will then give basic camera information like IP address, frame rate, resolution, so that anytime you can just walk up and you know exactly what camera it is, so you don't have to try and hunt around on your system to find it via its IP address. So 2 really nice new additions to the BirdDog camera range. Obviously, the P100 is going to be discontinued, but for those people who already have P100s, don't worry, the P110 is just an updated camera. So if you're adding cameras to your system, the image will look exactly the same. One of the other things that we've been looking at and thinking about for a while now, and have had requests from various broadcasters and OB van companies, is an open gear card. So this year we have our first ever open gear card. So it's a 4-channel 12G SDI open gear card. It will either encode or decode. It will supports all ROS open gear Gen 3 frames. We have integration in the rear of the frame for Ethernet for control. It's dashboard compliant. We have 2 SFP plus cages on the front with support up to 10 gig Ethernet. And for a studio or an OB environment, we can have a really high density of inputs and outputs in a 2U standard frame. So 10 cards giving you up to 40 channels to either encode and decode NDI. And of course, being BirdDog, we've gone one step further with this as well. And the same with the P110 and the P120 is that when they ship, they will have the Silicon 2 firmware on. So not only will they do full NDI and NDI HX, but they'll also do H.264, HEVC, SRT. You can use them as native cloud endpoints as well. So some really big updates and some new products here at NAB this year for us. And SDM modules, we spoke about these a while ago, and we spent a little time developing them, but we are very pleased that the SDM modules are now shipping. For those people who from the broadcast world may not know about SDM modules or SDM slots, these are an Intel-based system that are now becoming available on commercial screens. There are projectors that will be coming out later in the year from Panasonic that will also have SDM slots available. So what we've done is we've taken our BirdDog core technology and we've built that into an Intel or onto an Intel SDM module. So this will fit directly into a flat panel commercial display and then give you up to 4K 60 decode or encode depending on what unit we have. So we have both an encode and decode unit and also just a decode unit. So for fixed AV installations, even for broadcast installations in post-production facilities where you want to be able to move your NDI around the network from maybe your Adobe Premiere or directly from your Media Composer timeline to a breakout room so that the producer director can sit somewhere else away from the editor. So really, really nice product. Looking forward to actually getting some case studies and seeing this being used.
Actually, the SDM modules are really interesting, especially that, like what you said, the integrators in the AV world and the AV world itself can actually benefit from it. Right now, at least some of our customers here in the Middle East and in Turkey, we've seen a lot of this projects that are running in AV. They started using NDI, just for basic encode and decode. Of course, they have the use for PTZ cameras. That's there, but having that another step or step further to what they normally are using with the SDM modules are. And of course, we will never forget that the BirdDog also provides those, those wall plates as well that could really be, part of that AV setup or AV design or AV infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the nice thing about SDM modules is that they fit directly into the screen, so you don't have to worry about mounting an external device. You don't have to worry about PoE power being run to an encoder or a decoder. Everything comes directly from the screen. There's connectivity with the EPROMs directly into the screen. We have CEC control available as well. So it's a really rounded, integrated part of an AV installation that could work for pretty much any environment that you want to put screens into. So schools, colleges, universities, house of worship, etc.
Yeah, okay, that's very interesting. So go on to the next announcement.
Yeah, so we have a new Central platform. So Central Lite and Central Pro have been around for a number of years now. When we were originally designed to be a very simple way of distributing your NDI sources to your destinations, which would be your decoders, which would be positioned behind screens. Over the last 12 months, we've developed a new platform. So currently, Central runs on is isolated to run on a PC or a laptop. The new version is going to be a server install, so it will be a web browser-based login, meaning that anybody on the network can log into and have access to the new Central software. Of course, there will be user rights and sign-in process so that you can limit what people can do. We're going to have 3 versions available. So we're going to have Central Lite, which will be a free application as it is now. We'll then have Central Pro, and we'll also have Central Enterprise. So Central Enterprise really sort of designed for users who have large quantities of NDI devices on their network that they want to then be able to route the NDI sources from different locations, also aimed at sort of tier 1 broadcasters. There are a lot of features within Central, and we could probably talk about those for a good 20 or 30 minutes separately, but it's a really, really strong new piece of software from BirdDog to help you move your NDI around your network and display it in breakout rooms and different places around your facilities.
And you also mentioned about the new dashboard as well.
Yeah, so as part of the NDI5 update, we wanted to improve the feel and the look of the dashboard or the web UI. So now it's a complete redesign. Everything's laid out more logically and in a better location. Things have been renamed to carry the sort of convention through. So the camera AV settings are now called cam control within dashboard to then marry up with our cam control software. We've added in, obviously, to this the 3D integration. We've got the scopes. We've also got another really nice little feature as well, which I didn't mention, is now we have the ability to turn off the NDI video streams from the cameras. So for people working in hybrid workflows that are running back using baseband video into Blackmagic ATEM switches or into a Roland mixer, where you don't necessarily want the NDI video as well, you can now turn that off. You can save the bandwidth on your network, but still have NDI and VSCA controlled. So still able to use a PTZ keyboard and have tally available as well. But yeah, really nice little feature that we've added as well that I think will be quite useful for some people.
All right, that's a good thing, and I think uh, we want to also have some updates on the Cloud Connect, right?
Yes, so Cloud Connect's been
Mm-hmm.
something that we've been working on for a while. So it's in addition to our cloud platform. Um, we realize that there are lots of devices out there that could potentially be cloud endpoints for viewing NDI streams, accessing and controlling. So Cloud Connect really broadens the scope of who can interact with cloud and how they interact with cloud. So we have new operating system support, so iOS, iPad, tvOS, Android tablets, Chromebook. We worked with Samsung with the Tizen processor. So really, generally speaking, anybody that has a internet connected device that can download the Connect app will be able to access a cloud source. We have things like GPU encoding in endpoints for VP9. We also do VP8. It's lowest CPU usage. We can do more streams in higher quality. And it's a really useful application. And we've also got an Adobe panel and a plugin as well. I mean, the image you can see there with the hand holding the iPhone, that's sort of what it looks like on your iPhone. It gives you the ability to connect to any NDI source that's being streamed over your cloud system. And that would include then connecting to a camera. So I could connect to a camera from the UK to the guys in MediaCast, so maybe a P100 or a P200. And from my iPhone, I could see the image. I would have PTZ control. I could recall presets. And I could do all of that with really low latency, anything as low as sort of 1 to 2 frames of latency. So there are a number of different ways that this could be deployed for different types of workflows. We have the presenter mode, which is integrated into our receivers. If you're using this in connection with our new Play device that we announced last year and is now shipping, you can then use things like CEC control linking through to your TVs as well. We can do tally borders and all kinds of different things within Cloud Connect. Again, this is a really sort of complex demonstration that would take a while. So anybody that's at the show, please come past the booth in Central Hall. We have Cloud Connect running and with the new cameras. So we'll be able to give you a full run through and demonstrate this actually working.
Yeah, and I mean, Cloud Connect has been, has been very. A lot of people have been asking about it, and like what Phil said, if you're in the show right now, of course you're watching us right now, but if you know anyone from the show and you want to test it, it's something that you can easily have more information. If like what Phil said, it needs a lot of time to really show all the features of it, and if there are any questions regarding that, even we're here at MediaCast. We can also provide you with that service or that connection with that demonstration, so you'll have a better view of how Cloud Connect will really help your live production. And lastly, I think this is something that was announced a few weeks ago or a couple of weeks ago. You have the NDI speed test software, right? And this is very
Yes.
exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, so DYNO was something that we wanted to bring out to the market. Obviously, and NewTek had their analysis tool, but from a general point of view, you needed to understand what you were looking at. So it didn't have a particularly great user interface. So DYNO really brings some of that analysis tools into a graphical, sort of well laid out UI that gives you a lot of information, allows you to actually test your NDI network using either single or multiple NDI sources. You can then see, how resilient your network is, if you're dropping frames, and just generally get device information, system information, network information as well. And it's a really good tool. It's free to download from the BirdDog website, and I think should really be part of everybody's sort of NDI tool package that they have on their computer. In the same way that you download NewTek NDI tools, I think DYNO probably is a must-have for everybody as well, just to give you that peace of mind when you're maybe going onto a network. If you're doing a live streaming for a corporate event, you can then get DYNO up and running. You can actually see what the local network's doing and how many NDI sources you can run, so you don't then have any problems while you're actually doing your streaming and actually doing your recordings. And also from a engineering point of view, anybody that's having problems with a system can then run DYNO, and then they can send us an output from DYNO, and we can then actually look at that and analyze that in-house. That could be sent directly to MediaCast or to one of the support team at BirdDog as well, and it'll give us a very good snapshots into what your network is doing, so that we can then help you in a better way to resolve any issues as well. So DYNO's done really well. I think in the first 24 hours we had close to 700 downloads after we announced it. So since then the number has gone through the roof as well. So it seems to be really popular.
So you have 700 geeks right now using DYNO. I mean, in the first first day
In
of
the first
release.
24 hours, yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. I mean, we had an event a few weeks ago too. When it was released, and that software really is a very helpful tool to really analyze the network. And from then we realized that okay, we're oversaturating our network, and sometimes you need a visual tool to really tell you. Even by heart, you know that okay, I'm oversaturating this network. But having something that's really an objective measurement of what's really happening in your network, I think that's really something that we really need as both engineers or AV guys running a production network, especially now that NDI is really one of the major players in video over IP world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, NDI over the last few years has grown greatly in the uptake and the number of people that are using it, and also the number of different types of people that are using it. So there are some user cases that we would never even thought of for NDI that are now happily using it with BirdDog, NewTek equipment, and other manufacturers' products that are out there. NDI is a great way to stream and to move video across your network, and with cloud to any network anywhere in the world to do remote live productions as well.
Yeah, very exciting times indeed, and congratulations to the team of BirdDog. I know you guys have been working so hard in really, creating these products and software and hardware for everyone. And we at MediaCast, we're really proud to be part of that BirdDog family, and we're really happy to represent the brand here in the Middle East and in our Turkey region as well. So with that, I know you guys are gonna be very busy. Thank you, really, Phil, for taking a time off to speak to us and to announce this and be with our friends here in the Middle East for the BirdDog BirdDog's new announcement. So the BirdDog website, I suppose all of this information are updated in the BirdDog website by now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's live on the website. So anybody who wants more information, please just visit the website. It's now changed. So we're now www.birddog.tv. We've managed to drop the hyphen in between. So yeah, please visit the website. All the information is there. And then all of the software like DYNO and Cam Control is there to download for free as well now.
Yeah, we'll have more geeks downloading DYNO after this webinar. So again,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your time, Phil, and we really appreciate your time today. And again, best of luck to the NAB show for the BirdDog team, and I hope we see you around here in the Middle East again.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Lawrence. Looking forward to a busy show, and also looking forward to coming back and seeing you guys at MediaCast later in the year as well.
All right. So see you, Phil, and thanks everyone for watching.
Thanks, everyone.